It's time for the Ravagers to rise once again to glory!
You're listening to The Ravager Report, a Fox Next Marvel Strike Force podcast dedicated to bringing you the latest news, information, and updates. With your hosts, Dorian.
It is a name what strikes fear into the hearts of anyone what hears it!
And Hebrew Hammer.
I'm Mary Poppins, y'all!
Hello and welcome to episode 18 of The Ravager Report. I am your host, Dorian, and with me as always is the hypnotizing Hebrew Hammer. How you doing tonight, Hebrew?
I'm doing pretty good, buddy. How about yourself?
I'm doing all right. This is actually take 2 of the intro. The last one went a little haywire, and I had absolutely no clue where I was going or what I was going to say. Do want to thank everybody that's listening in our studio audience tonight. And if you're new to the show, we do record live on Friday nights, typically starting around 10 to 10:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, and you're always welcome to join us there. We do that on our Discord, which you can find at discord.me/Ravager Report. Normally now we would go into our new patrons of the week, but unfortunately we don't have any. But we do want to just give a huge shout out to all our patrons. You guys are awesome. We hope that you continue to enjoy the show and some of the benefits that we're starting to add. One of which is getting the uncut live show early instead of having to wait for it to drop on Podbean. If you are interested and would like to support the show, you can find us on patreon.com/Ravager Report, where we have subscriptions starting at $2 going all the way up to $20. The early show access does start at the $5 level, as well as early access to show notes when I get a chance to do them early and put them out. For those of you on Discord, I have been working on changing up the channels, adding some new features, doing some things a little differently. Today may have been yesterday. I added a theory crafting channel where I'm gonna try to start talking more about characters and new releases and trying to answer your all's questions about characters throughout the week. And we did a pretty in-depth dive into War Machine in that channel today, and we're actually going to discuss that more on the show. But before we get into all of that, Hebrew, why don't you let everybody know what you've been up to this week?
So this week, I've been sick. Been very sick. You probably are going to be able to tell soon. I'm really hoping that I don't go into a sneezing fit at some point in the show, because whenever I have a cold, I am probably the worst person ever to be around, because if I start sneezing, like usually if it's more than once, I will start sneezing for an hour straight and I won't stop. So I'm really hoping that does not happen this time.
That's not good.
I've drugged myself out a night, so that helps. So I'm a little loopy. So if I go off on something, make sure to let me know. But rain or shine, I come for the podcast.
I would let you know, but I think us going off the rails is what brings people back every week.
Maybe.
So,
but yeah, it's been a difficult week, but I got a day off from classes because of it, so hey, it's fine with me. And yeah, I've been playing. I mentioned this in the pre-show for him, but I talked about before. I'm going to be making some content for Anthem. And I just got the VIP demo for it today, and I was messing around with it. Fantastic game. I'm super excited. Yeah, other than that, in game, I've been going through the motions. We got War Machine out. I'm really stoked about him. I mean, there's, some bad with him that we'll get into later on, but overall, I'm just, excited for the character himself in the game. Pretty cool. And, yeah, I've been working on my guys, trying to get everyone leveled up, prepping for the Guardians team, everything like that. What about you?
So before I get into that, I just want to remind you, Hebrew, that if you start having a sneezing fit, you see that red button on your new microphone? Hit that, yeah. And we won't hear you.
Well,
that is your
ironically,
mute button.
Well, so this time, I will mute it, but I'm not using my microphone this time. I'm using just like an Apple headset, because in my loopiness, I forgot to bring it with me whenever I went over to my parents' place. So, but
okay,
it's all good. I tested the mic out. It's not terrible, but yeah, I just want to make sure. I had to go to my parents' house whenever I'm like really sick, because I don't want to like I take so much medicine. I don't want to like drug myself out, and so I like to have someone around me whenever I'm super sick.
Oh no, I get it.
I'm a baby. I think,
You want your mommy. I get it, dude. Hey, look, I'm 45.
Exactly.
I get sick, and I'm married now. But
Uh-huh.
before I got married, I wanted my mom. It's a guy
Yeah.
thing, right?
Yeah.
We're sick, especially when we're really really sick. So,
Yeah. Plus, I mean, she does like. I also get free food, so.
that there's the poor college student I was looking
Yeah,
for.
being a college student, that actually kind of helps. But yeah, so there's a lot of pros to this approach. But yeah.
So as for this week, boy, actually, there's been a whole lot that's gone on. Out of game, I have picked up a new mobile game called Langrisser. I'm not sure exactly how it pronounces. I'm not entirely sure I'm going to continue playing it. The story's awesome. The game itself is awesome. It's kind of it's a gotcha game. It's a collection story game, JRPG. But it, just like most JRPGs, the females are so overly sexualized that I'm just like, if I'm sitting there playing it and my wife or my kids look over and go, what are you watching? Or what are you playing? I'm like, yeah, it just makes me feel a little uncomfortable. So,
we got to have a big talk about that again later on, just because I mean there's interesting points of view to each one of those. Like we have to do something outside of the podcast for that at some point. Anyways, keep going. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
That's
I just had
okay.
to say, like, we have to do something about that because that's an interesting discussion that we need to have.
It is. There's just to let you know, there's also some background to that. So, there's good reason for my personal feelings on that. But
oh no, I totally understand. Yeah.
So there's that. Look, the game itself is really, really, really good. In fact, I dropped like $3 on it today. Which, for me, I don't spend money on games. But so if you're looking for a good strategy, it's a strategy game. If you've ever played Fire Emblem, it's like Fire Emblem. It's actually an old console game. So the Langrisser, it's placed in the same world. Really good. Highly recommend it. May even do content for it if I continue playing the game. But yeah, so there was that, and then there was my car. So somebody in chat today was talking about, that like their registration or evaluation on their car was coming due, and so fun story. I drive a Scion AQ, 2011 model. If you ever seen it, it looks like a smart car, with a very, very, very small engine, and it has a cartridge filter. Now, I typically do my own car work. I'd never had a car like this. It's a variable rate engine with a cartridge oil filter rather than like a standard oil filter. So when I went to get the new oil filter and stuff, I was like, man, I just don't know how to do this stuff. You'd think I'd get on YouTube or something, but no. I talked to the guys at the auto shop. They're like, oh yeah, there's the cartridge filter comes with this plug. You put the plug into the filter, it drains the oil, then you take the filter off, and you're good to go. So I've been doing that, and I've been doing that, and I've been doing that. Now, if you guys remember, a couple of months ago, I had a problem with my car where it wouldn't start, and I thought it might have been the fuel pump. Turns out that there was a ton of carbon buildup in the cylinders. Turns out there might be a very good reason why. The car, as it should, I just never dawned on me, has a drain plug in the oil pan. I never actually drained the oil. I've just been throwing new oil on top of the old oil. And when I finally realized that this week when I went to change the oil, that thing must have had 1.5 gallons to 2 gallons of oil in it. I mean, I've got pictures. I mean, Heber, did I send those to you?
The pictures?
Yeah.
No, I didn't see.
Okay, I'll send those to you. I've got pictures of it in the oil pan, and I actually put it into a 5-gallon bucket because I had nowhere else to put it. So, yeah, basically, I've been over oiling my car to death. Thankfully, no damage has been done to it, and now I know, and knowing's half the battle. So, yeah, and that would explain why there was all that carbon buildup because, hey, oil's been basically sitting in the cylinders. Because it. By the way, the car only holds 3.25 quarts. 3.25 quarts. Now, if you remember your math, 4 quarts to 1 gallon. So yeah, I put in like 2 to 3 times the amount of oil that it should have had.
Wow, good job.
Yeah, right. Really made me feel dumb because that was a few $100s to get that fixed, and I work on my cars a lot, and this is something so simple and basic. You would think that you would, but nope. I just took somebody else's word for it and trusted them, and so let that be a lesson. Everybody, never do that. All right, so I went off a few minutes on that one because that was kind of a convoluted story, but it's kind of also a PSA. A little embarrassed to share that, but that's kind of why I do this. This is my therapy. In game, I've actually had a kind of an amazing week. So I got Rocket to 7-star. I got Thor to 7-star. Did I get Rocket to 7-star last week? Regardless, Thor to 7-star.
Yeah, you did, I think.
Deadpool to 7-star. I got my AIM monstrosity to 67. Scientist Supreme's been 70 for a while. Working on AIM Infector because he's actually a really interesting kit. Because he takes all his debuffs and he'll just give them to somebody else. Which is really, really interesting. So I got all my Kree up to 5, so I will get Fury next time around. Which is
now
which
you
is
have
awesome.
a 7-star or no 7-star, like a 5-star Nick Fury or something, right?
Yeah, I do. I have a 5 red star Nick Fury, or is it 4?
Oh, sweet baby Jesus.
Also Magneto. I have both Magneto and Fury at 4. I think it's just 4 red stars. I don't think I have a single 5 red star because the odds are never in my favor. The odds will never be in your favor either because the odds are never in your favor.
Yeah.
There's my red stars bad plug for the night. So yeah, Aim Watch 2019 continues. Just plugging away at those guys every day. Just working on trying to get them all up to 7 stars. I want to say the team's around 80k power right now. So
I can't believe that we're seriously discussing you leveling up. Every time whenever we get on that, I'm just like, I can't believe this is real life.
Yep. You just kind of hear Queen in the background. Is this the real life?
Yeah.
So a lot of people go, "My God, you're crazy!" or "What are you doing? Why are you wasting all those resources?" Mm-hmm. And my reply back to you is because I'm having fun. And at the end of the day, the point of the game is to have fun. That is
the best reason to do it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, because honestly, for me, it's entertaining listening to everybody go, "Oh my God, you're crazy." it's almost like an anti-troll trolling,
Yeah.
So because I know I'm a masochist, I know I do it on purpose, and I'm doing it because it brings everybody else enjoyment. And honestly, one day the question will be who has a good aim, and Dorian will have the solution.
Yeah.
So
you're going to be that one guy in the back of the crowd that comes forward. I will save the
day. I am here to save the day. No, actually, what it's more like. Have you ever seen Jaws?
Jaws, yes.
Okay,
yeah, absolutely.
I'm going to be the old fisherman sitting in the back of the room. I'm sorry, that imagery is really good.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. If I start doing sea shanties, then we all know something's wrong. Which one of us is on the NyQuil?
Yeah, right?
Good day, man. Good day.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, we had a really big data mine of, just a drop of data mine information this week because we had a new update. And I pulled out some of the most interesting things. Now, some of the stuff from the data mines already dropped, like the War Machine Blitz, not War Machine Blitz, the War Machine Milestones, the character changes, things of that nature. But there are some things in here that we're going to go over. So, first was an availability update. Loki will be available and I remember these are all data mines. They are all subject to change. This is just what's gotten out of the game. There's no guarantee this is going to happen. We do not recommend you change any of your strategies based off of these data mines. Just be aware that it's potentially coming. Loki's now in Mystic 3-6. Loki immediately transforms your Mystic team into a force to be reckoned with. Turn your enemy's perceptions against them with his mind control and elusive mirror image clones. Combining with other miscontrollers to bring your enemies to their knees. Don't wait to add the God of Mischief to your team. Recruit Loki now. Note, as a result of Loki's addition to the campaign mode, Hand Sentry has been moved to Cosmic 3-6, Kree Cyborg has been moved to Cosmic 2-3, and Hydra Armored Guard, that everybody's looking for, is now available in the Arena store for 400 Arena credits. Hebrew, what do you think of Loki coming to the Mystic store, or the Mystic campaign?
I'm glad. I mean, he's a really good character, and I've been wanting to get him for a while, but I never got lucky with his drops and his blitzes. I did, but that still leaves me with a relatively minimal amount. So yeah, I'm excited to start farming him. I'm definitely going to put campaign energy into farming him every day. So yeah, I'm glad.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I'm definitely going to be he's going to be one of my daily farms. So let's see. Next, looks like we're going to have a Carnage milestone. Build up Carnage to earn points towards this milestone, where you can earn gold orbs, purple and orange ability mats, and gear orbs. Gain points by unlocking Carnage, leveling him up, building his gear tier, and increasing his gear stars. And the same thing for Mantis. And I gotta say that this is probably going to be the standard for characters coming forward.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because I think they realized that when they dropped Red Stars, there was no point to kind of working on new characters unless they were like really, really good and amazing or did something just off the wall. This incentivized people and gives them reward. I mean, it rewards you for getting characters and putting resources into them before the gambling gods smile upon you.
Right.
Let's see.
I'm still kind of on the fence about these because, I don't particularly mind these ones requiring you to pay to win on these milestones, but I just they love to take one idea and apply it to all the rest. And I just don't like the idea that they're getting very comfortable with pay to win milestones. You know what I mean?
Well, I do know what you mean, and I agree with you, but I think one thing this company has shown is pay to win is kind of what they do.
Yeah, but there's a difference between so for the character ones, like I said, it doesn't bother me too much because it gives a reason for people to wail out on these characters still. But I mean, it's not a great reason, but it's a reason.
Right.
But I still just I don't want them to start thinking, oh, okay, people are okay with this, they've accepted it. Now every single milestone that we ever put in this game is going to have a pay to win cap.
Right.
But before, a lot of things that we saw outside of the characters, or before they started doing the characters, it was all very free to play friendly. And then a few of them started to push more towards the you're never going to complete it route unless you spend money. And now it's on this. So we'll see what happens with ones that aren't related to characters. But I just really hope it doesn't go more pay to win on every milestone from now on.
Well, I kind of have a small fear that some things are going to go pay to win, and I think it's starting with the next Datamine.
Mm-hmm.
Share the Love Alliance donation event. To celebrate the Lunar New Year, Red Star Orb fragments will be added into Alliance donation boxes starting February 4th at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Work with your Alliance to earn Red Star Orbs every day. So, first of all, I don't think this is a permanent thing because it is called the Share the Love Alliance donation event. And the question becomes, at what tier are you going to have to get your Alliance donations? Is it going to have to require people pumping cores into it? Because that's ridiculous if that's the case. I hope not. I hope you can get them out of the standard 3 that you can get just from everybody doing the 10K gold donation. But if it's higher than that, it's just more of the rich get richer.
Yeah, I guess it kind of depends on how many they put in each one. I'm sure all of them will have some.
Yeah,
but it depends on how much it increases by, and we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, hopefully it is just an event, unless they want to keep the. I mean, I wouldn't have a problem with them keeping the Red Star Orbs on the first 3. That's for sure.
No, and to be honest,
we'll see what happens.
At some point they're going to have to, because look, regardless of what I say about Fox Next, these guys aren't stupid. They're really not. I think they make
No.
some bad decisions, but I don't think they're stupid. And I think they know full well, I went in depth on the math last week. Now, I'm not going to do it again. But just just looking at the math to get your team to 4 red stars, or not your team, but your roster, you're talking almost 1,200 orbs that you're going to have to open. And that number is just stupid. I mean, you're going to get what? If you're free to play. Now, the whales are going to whale, right? They don't care. They're going to do it. Yeah. If you're a dolphin or free to play though, you're getting what, 10 to 15 orbs a week, if that. And that's a long time. That's a very, very long time. In fact, I think I saw a post on Reddit earlier where somebody was talking about it taking 161 years to get your entire team, at the current roster size, to get your entire roster to 7 stars. It would take you roughly 160 some years. $360,000, I think.
That's time I'm not willing to invest.
Yeah.
Time or money that I'm not willing to invest.
No. So I hope they put the Red Star orbs in the Alliance for Nation box. I hope they stay, and I may campaign to Fox Next for them to do that. Just because
I just hope it doesn't go too crazy on the top end. That's my only thing. Like I don't want it to be just like a little drop in the bucket for the first 3, and then the next 2 which you have to pay for. I think it's 125 and then 500. I wouldn't want those to be like, all right, 1,000 fragments and then 2,000 fragments. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't think that it'll be that ridiculous, but I just really hope it's not going to be like 25, 100, 150, 1,000, 2,000.
Right? In fact, no. Here's what'll happen. It'll be 25, 50, 100 for the first 3, and then the next 2 will be 5,000 elite stars, 10,000 elite stars.
It's just what's her name? How am I? This is doing the night. Oprah sitting up at the top there, going, "You get a red star. You get a red star. You get a red star."
Yes, that is perfect. Oh my God, now I'm gonna meme that. Oh, thanks. I gotta find that one. So moving on now. Let's see. Subscriptions have arrived. Increase your daily energy. Commander, build up your roster by signing up for our Premium Energy Boost, offering 120 extra campaign energy per day. For a limited time, your first month is free along with 100 shards of Thor. Sign up for your Premium Energy subscription in the Daily Rewards tab in the inbox. Subscriptions have... Oh, and then there's another one apparently offering 120 extra camp... No, wait, hold on. Apparently this doubled up and was listed twice, so I apologize. Yeah. I started to read the second one twice. Okay. So, yeah, you and I have talked about this in the past when we first heard about the energy subscription. Uh-huh. I'd rather have the 120 core. I'd rather have 120 core. I'd rather have these 50 cores, to be honest with you.
Oh, yeah.
If I want to spend it on energy, then let me do that. We'll have to see what the cost of the subscription is. I
still don't even like... Yeah, it all varies on the cost of the description, but... Yeah, I just wish that it would be more than 120 also. Like, I don't know. It's just 120 doesn't get me out of bed to throw a credit card at them. You know what I mean? I mean, I'm not going to do it regardless, but I'll do the first month, and then I'm going to, they'll probably require you to, it'll go on an automatic, payment after the first month, but I'm just going to make sure to cancel it right after my first free month, so it never actually charges me.
Right.
But yeah, that's just because I want the 100 free Thor shards and the 120 energy that 1 month. But other than that, like if it wasn't for that in the free month, like I wouldn't be signing up for it. And yeah, it's going to depend. That's even if it was just like $1, which I doubt it's going to be. I bet it's going to be like,
it'll be like $10. It'll probably be like $5 to $10.
No, I'm betting it's going to be like $5 maybe. I could see them putting a $4.99, but I don't think it'll be $10.
I think $4.99 it was right exactly where the break point was, because when we first heard about this, we did the math. Based off the price of the core. So I'm not going to sit here and try to rehash that one. But yeah, I think maybe $4.99 was right. I think actually the core value came to like closer to $9.99. But we said at $4.99 it would be worth. I don't remember. But hey, if you've not heard that episode, we have an episode where we talk about energy subscriptions and the breakdown of cost per core.
Good luck finding it.
Yeah, good luck. Just started episode 1. One. If you haven't listened back. Let's see. Mantis will be coming via Blitz, so it'll be the Guardian Empath. Battle for a chance to win Mantis shards. I hate Blitz character releases.
Yeah, me too.
Mantis is going to be such a good character too.
Yeah,
and I'm just going to be like, yeah, okay, because we're going to talk about some of the.
How do you know? Do you know what her character kit is?
Do you? Oh yeah, we'll address that later too.
Yeah, it's one of the poke fun of that.
I know,
right.
I know, because you know how you know my feelings on that one.
Oh yeah, I mean you saw him. Yeah, but all right, yeah, keep going.
Yeah. So, let's see. We're supposed to be getting new character traits, military and Stark. Let's see. Now, here's where it starts to get interesting. The next two are really, really interesting. So, the first one is the Secret Admirers. Rocket convinces Groot to help him acquire a stockpile of unique magical and high-tech items from corrupted heroes and villains as a gift for someone very special. Earn amazing rewards. Secret Admirers team up. Eligible heroes are Rocket and Groot. Let's see, and there's going to be 7 different tiers. Tier 1 and 2 will be 3-star. 3 and 4 will be 4-star, and then 5, 6, and 7 will be 5, 6, and 7 stars. So it'll be interesting to see. This will also be a returning event. It looks like it'll just be those 2. So that'll definitely be interesting. I sadly will not get past tier 4 because my Groot is not past that yet.
Yeah.
But I have a feeling I have a feeling if this happens, it's going to happen right around Valentine's Day.
Oh yeah, for sure. I personally won't be able to get very far at all because my Groot is there's nothing in him, and I think he's 3 stars. So
yeah, you don't want to change that. You're going to want to change that.
Well, yes and no. I would probably replace him with Mantis. That's why I wasn't even leveling him up because it'll be the other ones and then Mantis instead of Groot. So
well, we'll get into the Guardians rework later. I'm not sure that Groot's the one you want to replace, to be honest. But
he is.
Well, he may be the one you want to replace, but he's not going to be the one to replace.
Yeah.
And then the last piece of Datamine that we've got is the Tiny Showdown. Now this is. We all know the Tiny Showdown with Ant-Man and Wasp, where they go in and they go to steal gold and get it back out. This one is the Tiny Showdown that now includes it's Ant-Man, Wasp, Rocket Raccoon, and Groot at 5+ stars. Recommended for level 60+, gear tier 9+, and level 5+ abilities. Rocket and Groot must work with Ant-Man and Wasp to escape from Tiny World and corrupted villains seeking revenge. So I kind of like we're going back to Tiny World. That is one thing about Strike Force that I absolutely love is the internal continuity is really good.
Yeah.
That they don't really kind of leave you hanging on stuff. So, and they're not afraid to revisit some things. So, I thought Tiny World was a really interesting, break. It was in the main storyline, but it was separate from the same main storyline. So, their campaign stuff, like even the one we did today, which we'll talk about later for the War Initiative, is really good. The Prelude to War. It's another good one.
Yeah.
So, Heber, did you have anything you wanted to add to the data mines for this past week?
No, I think that's pretty much it.
Well, then we are going to go ahead and move into the news. Now, give me 1 second here. Okay, they did. So this past week we had a lot of news that's happened this past week, and it's kind of been all week long. So we're gonna start with the biggest news of the week, which was the fact that Update 2.3 dropped, and Update 2.3 did include 3 new characters: Carnage, Mantis, and War Machine. It included the Guardians rework, and it also had a small problem when it launched. Where if you're not familiar with the orange unique orbs, those are orbs that you can only get by doing 100% of the Gamma 4 raid, which means that 2 or 3 guilds are doing it maybe. I mean, it's so ridiculously hard. I've heard people they're really kind of spending a lot to finish those up, which you kind of have to do to get those orange uniques. The problem was when the update dropped, there was a problem with the store, and instead of 2,000 fragments, it was 1 fragment. So people were able to spam the heck out of that and just buy thousands of orbs for the cost of 1 fragment. So today, Marvel Strike or Fox Next responded and said, "We're aware." And and they've known about it. I've had internal conversations with Fox Next, and they're like, "This is a tricky one," and I'm like, "Yeah, it is, because it's a tricky one." And so they responded today and saying they're going to roll everybody back, and there will be no bans, and they're going to remove all progress. They're going to take them out of Fear the Darkness, etc., so much and so forth. And Reddit did what Reddit does. And there was an immediate backlash of, well, when people were messing around with the energy quote unquote bug, you were more than happy to ban them. Why are you not doing it here? Is it because these guys are in your top your top 5 guilds, and they're primarily whales, so on and so forth. And at first I agreed with him, but before I give my take on it, Hebrew, what is your feelings on this?
Yeah, I think that a lot of this is just overreaction. Bugs like this happen, and it's very common for Reddit to explode because it does. But yeah, for me, I mean, they're taking back all the progress. That's one thing I care about. I mean, stuff like this happens. I don't think anyone should get bans out of it. I think that's going overboard. I mean, I think about it like this. If I'm a person that's just playing this game and I'm not on the Reddit or anything like that, I'm not involved in the community at all, right? I play this game alone. I hop on one day and I see all of these orbs that I can get. I'm like, okay, sure. I'm going to start getting it. Why should I be banned because they made a mistake? It doesn't make any sense to me. So, yeah, as long as they just roll back the progress that you falsely made, I don't care. Okay. It isn't the same thing as like actively going in and screwing with the code or anything.
Okay, so what about them banning people for the buying the energy thing? That happened.
What was the buying the energy thing? I don't even remember that.
There was a bug where you could buy basically an unlimited amount of energy, and they actually wound up banning people for it.
I think honestly, well, all right. So you could buy an unlimited amount of energy.
Yes, there's a caveat, okay? And I've intentionally been leaving the caveat out because for me that makes the entire changes the entire story. So my take on it, I actually agree with you. As much as I'm more than happy to rip on Fox Next when they deserve it, I don't think this is one of those times. I actually agree that their decision is the right one. In fact, when I told our Fox Next contact that. I think I sent his reply. You should see his reply in our chat. Where he's like, "Where is Dorian? What have you done with him? Bring him back."
Oh yeah, I see it. That's funny.
And so basically, my argument is that this was a bug, whereas the energy I'm using quote unquote bug are different because that was actually the energy thing was an exploit. It wasn't a bug. Bugs are when you do something that kind of has an unintended consequence, such as, hey, we released this new update and somebody dropped a 0 from, one of the code and it's calculating wrong. That's a bug, right? The energy issue was you had to like mess around with your network settings or go out of cell service or drop your data connection, and you could sit and spam the button and basically get unlimited energy. And have to pay like almost nothing for it, if anything at all.
So real quick, the energy, because I don't know why, but I am not recalling this at all.
I don't think it was
because there's so many issues in between them.
But this was way, way, way back in the summer, I think.
So
I remember this
but for that,
vaguely.
were people actually paying money for it? Were people? So was it like $1 and you got unlimited energy, or what
No,
was
it
it?
was,
I don't
you know
understand.
how you can buy energy for cores, right?
Energy for you cut out there for a second. What
Oh,
did you say?
you can buy energy for cores, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so what happened was they found a way to manipulate the system by disabling their data communication. This is my understanding of it, anyway. You
Oh
just
well, yeah, that's an exploit.
yeah, and so to me, there's a difference between an exploit and a bug, and those guys got banned
Yeah.
for an exploit, not a bug. So Reddit, I'm usually right there with you, leading the way with the pitchforks and the torches. But I'm sorry, this is a big bag of nothing to get upset about, because the energy issue really was an exploit, not a bug. So this
Yeah.
was a bug. This was somebody just made a mistake and dropped a zero somewhere, I'm sure.
I'm surprised it took them this long to handle it, just because it seems like something you'd very quickly realize. But
Well, so I think it was something that they very quickly realized, but when you consider the impact, it's not that simple.
no, I
Um,
know. But if you would have got it earlier, then it would have been less to fix. That's how I see it.
well, I think that they didn't want to pull the trigger, and okay, so here's where I am going to critique Fox Next. I think they didn't handle it sooner because they had to determine the impact, right, and see how many people did it, what all was impacted progress wise. Like, my question is, are they going to undo Arena? Are they going to undo Blitz? I mean, there's a far reaching. I'm going to contact Fox Next to try to get some answers and see, hey, what does this really mean when you say you're going to roll back? Because that guy that's sitting at 1501 in Blitz for Green Goblin, and somebody with I'm not going to say cheated, but took advantage of the bug and got the unique orange orbs and was able to artificially elevate their. Now, thankfully, it wasn't Green Goblin; it was Merc Lieutenant, but. That person that maybe really wanted Mark Lieutenant was going after Mark Lieutenant hard and got pushed out of that because somebody else had these unique oranges on their teams and had elevated scores. What are they going to do for him? Right now, unfortunately, we've seen in the past, they don't care about the downstream effects. They just want to handle the issue in
I don't
front.
think they're going to do anything with that.
But, there's a lot of research, that goes into figuring out just what needs to be done to roll back these types of changes.
Yeah, I would have put it personally, if I was in charge, I would have put that like on pause. Basically, I would have made people not able to buy it for like a day, and I would have went back through the system, checked everything, or had my team go back through the system. This is broad strokes, by the way, because I have no idea exactly the intricacies of this, but I'd have my team sweep the system, check what happened, see who needs to be rolled back and everything. I just wouldn't let it sit there and stagnate and get worse.
Well,
So
yeah.
I feel like putting the system on pause and then just giving everyone like, a couple of free orbs or something like that, just to make up for the, if someone didn't get an orb a day or that they were going to get, like I would have rather done that, because at least you can contain it. This way, it has the same effects that you were talking about, where people are taking them into Arena and people are taking them into Blitz, and it's a lot harder to roll back that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and I agree with you, and I think that in an ideal world, I don't know what their system setup looks like. I don't know how difficult that would be if they could just, if they could do that, in a switch and without having to push like a new client update. It may have required a client update to do something like that. So
I would have still done that.
So client updates take a while to get certified and pushed out. So the quicker solution, obviously, I think would have been going through the data and making a decision to roll it back.
By the way, I think we both agree should have probably done it a little faster, but
yes,
it is what it is.
But I also, at the same time, the developer in me does understand that these things, you don't want to, God forbid, you rush it and you go, hey, you pretend it's the Wild Wild West and you cowboy the code to fix it, and all of a sudden all the accounts are gone because somebody dropped a where clause, or didn't drop a where clause but added something into a where clause that they shouldn't have. You got to cross cross your T's, dot your I's, make sure that you've got everything handled perfectly. So I do understand. I understand that it's taking so long to get it. What I don't agree with is how long it took to just communicate it. That's what they should have done. If they had communicated, hey, we're aware of the problem, we are working on a fix, but it's very delicate and it will take us a little bit of time, that's different. Now, the other issue is, the other thing that comes to my mind is, what accounts are really affected by this? It's probably mostly whales. So there's a little bit of a concern on Foxnext's side to say, these are not guys we want to piss off. So we'll see.
Sure.
We'll see what happens if there's any repercussions from this. Yeah. Was there anything else about the Orange Unique Orbs debacle that you wanted to?
I don't think so.
Okay. I just want it noted for the record. Dorian agrees with Foxnext. I feel a little dirty, but I do. And I look, I'm not. I shouldn't say that. I don't feel a little dirty. But yeah, I think Heber and I both are happy to give them accolades when they do something right, and doing this is the right thing. Before we go into the rest of the update news things that happened this week, there was one thing that happened last week that you alluded to earlier that I was going to kind of not talk about, but let's go ahead. And so shortly after, or maybe even while we were recording last week, somebody decided to release images of the kits for War Machine and Mantis from the test servers. And so this podcast is, as you guys know, a no-name podcast. So, we'll not discuss who did this or why. I think that this person was wrong. Even though that person technically themselves did not violate an NDA, they are guilty by association. They helped somebody else violate the NDA. So I know the arguments for and I know the arguments against. I'm not going to rehash them here on the show. I think it was wrong. I don't think that it's something that any ethical person would have done. I'm actually happy that it didn't happen before we recorded, because then I would have felt obligated to talk about those kits. Now I can avoid it because they're going to be in game.
Just because we do report, the news on the game and everything like that. Yeah, it was leaked early. It is what it is. That kind of stuff has been happening a lot recently. There's a little more drama surrounding this one than others. More people had access to it before he even did, from what it seems like, at least. So, it was just a different kind of release. But either way, we got the kit. We know what's coming. I don't think we're going in on that today, right?
We're not talking about Manus at all today. We are talking about War Machine, but he's released in game. So we'll be talking about what MSF.GG has for his kit. Because I'm lazy and I don't feel like doing the math for that. I do enough math throughout the week. Leaks, damn leaks, and the consequences of said leaks. Well, I mean, to be honest, there was some fear early on because we had heard through the grapevine that because of that, we were going to lose any potential test server access because people couldn't be trusted. So
yeah, that was a potential consequence.
And should that and look, I'm going to be honest with you, we still don't know whether or not that's going to happen, because I was supposed to hear back from Foxnext this week about the content creator test server, and that has not materialized. So I don't know what's going on there. But it's supposed to be moving forward, but decisions may change. We never know. So, but Foxnext, if you're listening, and I know you do listen, if and when we sign NDAs, they will be honored. I'm just going to say that. Right, Hebrew?
That's right.
Right. See, we're on the record. Okay. All right, let's move on to some good news here.
Although
So,
I'm on NyQuil, so I'm not sure if that counts as legally binding for me. But
I don't think the alcohol content's high enough to cause you
with
to
how
be...
much I drank, I don't know.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
So we got update 2.3. And all in all, outside of that unique orange gear orb issue, the update was rather smooth. I've not seen any issues with it. There's a lot of downloading going on that takes a while to even over Wi-Fi that I'd almost wish they'd kind of cache and do in the background a little bit.
Yeah.
But other than that, we've got, one of the big things is the new Blitz view. You can actually see like your tier and stuff in Blitz and where you're at and other stuff. So that's really handy. The Guardians got their rework, which has caused a few issues. Not gonna lie. At least for me, in Ultima 6, because there's a node with Rocket and Groot that now I used to be able to just kind of one shot. I didn't even think about it. I just went in, I did my thing, and I was done. Groot's nasty to the defenders. He is just brutal to the defenders now. Because one of the things that the defenders do really, really, really well is counter. And Groot, unfortunately, he does this really nice little thing now where if he hits somebody and they counter, he puts slow on them. That also affects AoEs. So if Punisher does his AoE, he's now slowed. Daredevil does his chain attack, he's now slowed. It threw me off. The first few times through it, I'm like, what's going on, man? I used to be able to clear this, and now I'm losing Punisher and did it. That defense up with the death proof, that's brutal.
Yeah, that is rather annoying.
Groot, and it's funny, he got that quote unquote small heal boost, and he's healing for 8. For me at like 4 stars, he's healing for like 9,000 hit points. It's not great,
it's not crazy, but
it's
better.
It's better,
sure.
and it's useful.
Yeah.
I now run Guardians and Gamma 4 up the left side, and I'm making it through 2 or 3 nodes without losing anybody.
Yeah.
So, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I think he's in a much better place. Like, definitely.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's pretty much undeniable. Like, and I think that he matches his kit matches his personality, his character, and everything like that. Like, he's kind of like that just tree that will just screw you if you try to fuck with it, or if you try to screw with it.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
So I think he matches that well. But I still, I guess we're not going to get into Mantis or anything. But yeah, he's, that the thing that really gets me is for sure the defense up along with the death proof. That gets really annoying. But overall, I have a node where he's in it, but I still save him for last. I'm not too big. It's not too much of a worry for me. But then again, I'm also running it through with shield, so I'm just like dispelling all the time.
Right.
So
yeah.
And I don't know. I haven't seen too much of a problem with it.
But see, I only have JJ for the dispel. Well, Luke dispels himself, but JJ's the team's only true dispeller.
Right.
So it's annoying if you've just used that on her, and then you got to wait 2 or 3 turns before it comes back.
Yeah.
Because everybody's just slow. And you're just like, ugh. Especially on those AoEs, man. Because the defenders are pretty heavy on those AoEs, and then he throws up taunt.
Oh, yeah.
So if he throws up taunt, and you throw up like a defense up on Luke, well, guess what? Punisher's gonna hit. Because he's gonna hit Groot because Groot's got that taunt. So yeah, he's a little brutal to the defenders, but and I will say I've actually seen Guardians holding better in Arena now, and I mean like a true Guardians team.
Yeah, for sure.
They're holding better in Arena. I'm around the 200s, but I'm seeing like 220, 230 Guardian teams that I used to be able to just kind of cakewalk through, wouldn't even think twice about it. Now I'm like, oof, do I really want to do this?
Yeah, it's the defense up. I mean, that's what would worry me in an arena.
It's a defense up.
The defense up, yeah.
And because a lot of them, like I used to see a lot with like Drax and Thanos, and I didn't really think too much about it because I just work Thanos or work Drax until Thanos, and then I would just chain Thanos to get to Rocket, or just wait for Rocket to throw that defense up or on the counters. But man, that defense up, oof. And now he cleanses too.
Yeah.
Not that the defenders throw up debuffs, but
yeah, no, he is good at what he does. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I still wouldn't. He's not going to do he's not going to bring to the table what Mantis does, though. Or at least from what tentatively from what her kit appears to be.
Right.
In a raid, I would definitely take Mantis over her, but that's me.
Yeah, I could. If what we've seen is true, and I didn't want to get into this, but if what we've seen is true,
we don't need to go. We won't
go into details. But if what we've seen is true, then I agree with you. But part of me wonders if Drax isn't the one you take out of that team.
If you wouldn't, I'm sorry. No.
I would take
you would take Drax out and replace Drax with Mantis.
Yes,
I just would be missing that taunt. I don't know.
Yeah, but Groot can throw a taunt too. It's a maybe taunt. That's the bad part about it.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's not reliable.
But you increase your damage, you increase your healing, you get the defense, you get the death proof.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I can almost see a case either way. I'll be interested to try it out. That's for sure.
I just wouldn't take that into. Yeah, I don't know. I just wouldn't take that with me into a raid. Like Drax would bring too much to the table. I feel like for that taunt to keep them off Rocket and Star Lord and Gamora.
Actually, take Gamora out of that team and put Groot in her place. You can get by without Gamora.
You would be better off. You would be better off like that, but I think that you'd be missing. Gamora. Maybe it's because I have a 4-star Gamora, but she hits like a truck, so I don't know if I'd want to take her out. That chaining capabilities that she has, I don't know, man.
Boy, it just feels like it. Now I know they reworked it so that it's a more reliable chain. And I have not been able to really kind of see that yet. But see, I've got a 4-star Rocket. And so I'm getting that damage output. And if I put, Star-Lord on a corner with Rocket behind him, Rocket's always getting energy. He's guaranteed to get at least one. So, and then if you put Groot in there, Rocket's output is even higher. So I see your case. I really do. This is what I love about this game and what I want to see more of is these types of strategy decisions. Having these conversations and being able to do, one of the things we want to do is a theory crafting / strategy segment. Which we're actually going to kind of do a bit later tonight on War Machine, so hang around for that one. But overall, I would have to say that the Guardians rework, it didn't make them super OP. It's not a Defenders level rework, but it's definitely an improvement, and I think they are in a much better position now than they were last week.
Yeah, definitely, absolutely.
So this week we did also get War Machine. There was the purchase pack for $25 where you can get him, which if I had the money before we get into his kit and talk about things, if I had the money, I would probably do it.
Yeah, you like him that much?
I do, and we're going to go into it later when we go into some strategy and theory crafting with him. I spent a lot of time this week crunching his numbers, and I think the results are rather surprising. I will tell you that if your only experience with him is in the initial, the Prelude to War campaign, do not trust the damage numbers that you're seeing there. They are scaled down. I promise you, they're scaled down. So Let's see. So, speaking of which, we did get the Prelude to War campaign today. Have you had a chance to run through it yet?
I just did the first node.
Okay.
And yeah, I mean, it was. So I saw the start of the story. Obviously, the story sounds like it's going to be good. Of course, I'm a sucker for that. I like his I like his animations and everything. But yeah, the first part, wherever you try him out, they of course make him feel like amazing whenever
Right.
especially whenever he. Oh, well, I'm not going to say any specifics, but yeah, like they just did a really good job making his character really feel impactful. So yeah, I'm excited for it.
Yeah, and as the campaign progresses, I felt that the difficulty. So, look, if you've got Fury, you're going to cakewalk through this. I don't have Fury. I've got my skill team is only around 160k, and I run Bullseye, Punisher, Gamora, Black Widow, and Kingpin. That's who I ran, and that's around 160k. I was able to clear through all the nodes. The only one that I had to redo one, and that's because I did it on auto. I think it was 1.6. I had to redo it because I had tried it on auto, and that did not go well.
Yeah.
So the difficulty didn't feel overpowered. But it definitely, it was a good story, and I felt that the difficulty seemed to scale pretty well as you progressed through it. There was, however, a little bit of controversy at first about this in some circles. If you play through it, you will notice that they dropped the number of fragments you get per node per completion. So they halved the number of fragments that you get. So before, where you would get maybe 90 per drop, you're only going to get 45. However, the drops are now 100% guaranteed. So they took away some of that double RNG, and then they gave it back to us in spades later. But at least in the nodes themselves, they took away the RNG, and you're getting guaranteed drops on those. How's that make you feel, Hebrew?
Good, because my luck is terrible, so that works out for me. But yeah, no, seriously, I mean that's what it is. It's just a trade-off. I wouldn't have been surprised that they did that. I didn't know that they had done that yet, but as soon as you said that they dropped it by half, I'm like, all right, but there is something that they did. I'm just waiting to hear it.
Yes.
So yeah, knowing that they made it a 100% consistent drop, I'm totally okay with that personally. It's going to make some really lucky people not do quite as well, but it's going to make people that are very unlucky, like myself, do much better. So yeah, I don't have a problem with that at all. I am actually in favor of consistency. I don't have to continuously yell at my phone for not getting anything.
Right. Now, I will tell you that it doesn't feel good because I want War Machine. So I actually dropped like 200 cores on energy refreshes tonight. That'll be the last time. I didn't even get enough for a single orb. So that kind of felt bad. Even though it's guaranteed drops, Have
you dropped on cores for characters before in their campaign or no?
Storm maybe? Ant-Man Wasp?
Because yeah, I mean that doesn't surprise me too much. Like that was pretty typical for me. If I dropped, I can't anymore because I don't have. I'm always running on like a 100 core basis pretty much. But yeah, if I had extra, I used to. If I did all my 50s in a day, like it wouldn't be typical that I would get one orb.
Yeah, today will probably be the last day, the only day that I do it. But because I'm already doing 200 per day on regular energy, just to farm characters. So and I hover right around 800 to 1,000 cores per day. So
wow.
Well, I'm sorry. My stockpile hovers between 800 and 1,000 every day. So what I use, I'm basically replenishing from arena and dailies and stuff.
Yeah.
I like the fact that they went to the 100% drop. The fact that they had it to do that, I don't care. it's probably all going to work out in roughly. I mean, yes, you have the potential of getting less, but you're at least guaranteed something this time. So it feels less like a pull on the slot machine.
Out.
Right.
Yeah, statistically speaking, it'll even
Right.
out. So yeah.
However, here's where all that RNG went, and that's the initiative orb. Boy, if only a couple of guys last week had been like, this is gonna be bad.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh man. So somebody worked the numbers up on Reddit, and I don't have that in front of me. I apologize, but just eyeballing it, the drop rates for War Machine out of that center node are bad. I mean, they're just, it's like a triple RNG nightmare. So they have two quote unquote common drops, which total up to be roughly like 60%, but each one is different. So one's 27%, one's 33%. And then inside those they have drops for characters. So, you get, I think that one's the Avengers, maybe some Shield, and then you get a double chance for War Machine. So it's like 10% chance and then a 20% chance for War Machine. Then you get to the uncommon. Yeah. The uncommon drop is nothing but shield minions.
Yeah.
That hurts.
Well, yeah, one of the uncommon, right? Or
no,
is that
it's
just
both.
The uncommon?
It's both uncommons. I'm pretty sure it's both uncommons.
But there's two uncommons where he isn't, and then I think there's two where he is, right?
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. So you're absolutely right. I'm sorry. I was misremembering. There are two uncommons. Let me just jump in here real quick because it's
very weird the way that they set it up. So like, be prepared to be confused.
It's extremely.
And I feel
weird.
like they did this purposely to kind of like throw off like how you feel about it whenever you look at the stats behind it.
Right. And I'll have to run the numbers and maybe I'll have something later. But if I do, I'll post that in our Discord. So, yeah, there are actually there are 4 uncommon drops. However, 2 of those uncommon drops, one is 14.12%, the other one is 11.47%. Those 2 drops that total over 25% chance of this orb drop are shield minions. So, yay that. And it's only 5. It's 5 shards of shield minions. Then you get 2 more uncommon drops. One is 6% and one is 5%. The 6% is for 14 War Machine. The 5% is for 16 War Machine. Then you get the 2 rares. One rare is a 1.5% for 18 shards, and then you get a 0.5% chance of getting 24 shards of War Machine. So the odds of getting War Machine out of that middle are they're pretty bad. I mean, they're brutal. Because like I said, the first 2 are like 62% chance for 5 shards of an Avenger or War Machine. I don't know why they broke it up into 2 separate because I'm
telling you, they did it to purposely try to skew.
Oh, okay. I see why. The 2 commons. One is so you get a 33.88% chance of getting 8 shards of an Avenger or War Machine. Okay, so you get a higher chance of getting...
War Machine has an elevated chance, too.
And War Machine is a 22.25% chance of dropping in that orb. So you get a 1 out of 3 to get 8 shards of somebody. Then out of that 1 out of 3, you get another 1 out of 4, which means you're really kind of getting a 1 out of 12. You get 1 chance out of 12 to get War Machine at you get 8 War Machines. It's 1 chance out of 12.
Yeah,
because odds are multiplicative when you do them. So
it's not great odds of getting it, but I will say this: the side orbs, or the side pillars rather, excuse me, they do have a 30% chance to drop 2 War Machine shards, and that's, it's either going to be 1 or 2, but it's guaranteed on the sides. But it's a 30% chance to drop 2 on either side. That's not terrible.
No, that's not terrible. No, that's
that kind of offsets it a little bit.
Maybe. I mean, it depends on how many shards you're pulling or how many orbs you're pulling per day for that to really add up and make a difference. Now,
No,
I mean,
that's
it's
why I said
definitely
it offsets it a little bit.
yeah.
Like,
It is 3 times better than Ultimus, so there's that.
exactly.
Maybe,
There you
I guess. So yeah, that
go. Comparing things to Ultimus, you already know it's bad.
fair enough. I think I've opened 2 Ultimus this week. I think I got
Yeah, probably
Doctor
got another one,
Strange
too.
both times.
Doctor Strange.
Did I say Strange? Oof.
Yeah,
It's getting
he's
late,
that new
man.
character.
It's a yeah. So yeah. I think I got Doctor Strange. Maybe I got one Doctor Strange, one Night Nurse.
I've pulled him one time. I pulled Ultimus one time. So
Oh, that feels bad, man.
yeah.
It
I
definitely
mean,
feels
are
bad.
you surprised?
No, not really.
Still waiting on my million.
Not really.
The other day, I actually got like I had a purple drop, and I haven't had a purple drop in so long in the gold, and I was like, oh my god. And I forgot that wasn't the 100, or I'm sorry, I forgot that wasn't the million anymore, or ever. But I mean, like, for some reason in my mind, I just rarely ever seen the purple, so I thought it was just the purple one was the million. And so it came down. I was like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, and then it dropped, and it was 100,000. I was like, oh, okay, great. But at least I got 100,000, so that's pretty good.
Yep. You're getting closer, man.
Yeah, you're probably sitting there like, yeah, sure, 100,000, whatever. But for me, that's big.
Look, you're talking to the guy who's dropping. Actually, I'm about to rank up again. Who's dropping millions into AIM.
Yeah.
Okay. And
I think all the time, like, how the hell do you have this much gold? Yeah, my gold is absolutely terrible. Just want to do me a favor real quick. Can you look at your gold, your total gold?
Yeah, hold on.
Total gold.
All right, so achievements. So I have spent 204 million gold. Almost 205.
God. All right, let's see mine. And keep in mind, I've spent on gold before. So
I've never bought a gold orb.
Yeah, let me just find where it is real quick.
Well, it's pretty high for me. It was like it's the third achievement down.
Third achievement down?
Yeah.
All right. So I have spent. What is that? No, that's not it. There we go. All right. So I have spent 197 million.
Okay, so you've only spent. So I'm not that far ahead of you.
Yeah, but I've spent a lot of money on this game.
Yeah, but what you don't know is I'm spending a lot of money to keep you down.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
I'm sending them a little something on the side saying, "Hey,
about to say, yeah,
I've got his
paying him off.
I'm greasing some palms, man."
I will say though, and I think that they like went in after I said this last time. You remember how I said I haven't had a blue drop in forever, and like the odds are crazy for premium.
Right?
I had 2 blue drops in the past 5 days, 2 of them for premium orbs.
Are you opening premium orbs?
Not like with my cores or anything. I'm just saying like whenever I get them.
What? Can I ask why you're not saving them?
Why would I be saving them?
Because Carnage is a premium character like Loki, and he's only going to be available from premium orbs.
Oh well, I'm not gonna. Are you kidding me? I'm not gonna get that.
I was going to ask what your premium orb count was up to. I'm up to 46.
0. Yeah, I'm never.
44.
I'm literally I'm not delusional. I'm never gonna get that. Like, there's no way.
And I would be much higher if I wasn't going, for the Red Star Blitz. Yeah, I do Red Star Sunday, and then I do Premium Orb Monday. I get my 8 milestones, and I'm out. And then I feel bad because I get like 3 orbs.
Yeah.
Oh, exactly. The Red Star Blitz is getting so high.
I know.
Ugh, I hate Blitz so much. I couldn't tell you how ecstatic I was to see Merc Lieutenant followed by Ant-Man. I'm like, nice. 2 blitzes I really just don't care anything about.
100% agree. I was like, oh yeah, vacation continues.
My Ant-Man's 7 stars.
Oh, he is?
Oh, yeah.
Mine isn't 7 stars. Mine's probably like 4 or 5, but that's just because I just don't care about Ant-Man.
Oh, you're doing it wrong, man. Ant-Man's awesome.
Dude, my tech team, like, my tech team is not where it should be.
I mean,
Mostly because Vision. So
not even. Well, yeah, that doesn't help. But
Vision is like integral to
and again,
tech team.
I'm not saying Ant-Man is a meta character. I am not saying that Ant-Man that anybody should go out of their way. I like Ant-Man. I like his character, and I like his. I actually think his kit's kind of fun, especially when he steals debuffs and then gives them to him and Wasp. So
yeah, for sure, I can understand that.
So, was there anything else on the initiative orb that you wanted to add?
No, I think that's about it.
Okay. So, and unfortunately, there's no dev blog this week. So, we were told that there will be no dev blog and that it is going to be earlier next week, and we'll be hearing something. I have a suspicion that because we now have the Prelude to War campaign. I think that the dev blog is probably going to be about Alliance Wars.
You think the dev blog's probably going to be out Alliance Wars? Yeah, me too.
Yeah, that's my suspicion at this point. So
yeah, I would agree.
So that's kind of the news for the past week. Unless there's something that I missed or something happened that I forgot.
No, I think that's about everything.
I think that's about everything. Good. I didn't go through Reddit as deeply as I should have, but so this is a time where normally we would do the grab bag, but I think I'm going to move the grab bag this week to the end of the show. And what I'd like to do now is actually go into the character spotlight, if that's okay with you, Hebrew.
Let's do it.
All right. So this week we are going to cover War Machine. So bear with me. You're about to get read to. James Rhodey Rhodes was born and raised in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. He later joined the United States Marines, becoming a pilot stationed overseas. On a mission, he was blasted out of the sky by enemy rockets. He was attempting to get his aircraft worthy when inventor Tony Stark, clad in his Iron Man armor, happened to be passing by after avenging his fellow prisoner, Professor Jensen. Attacked by enemies, Iron Man proved to Rhodey that they were on the same side. Stark offered Rhodey a job as a pilot. As soon as his military stint was over, Rhodey declined. After a succession of other jobs, Rhodey finally accepted Stark's offer and became his personal pilot and chief aviation engineer. When devastating personal problems caused Stark to abuse alcohol and become incapable of using the Iron Man armor responsibly, Rhodes put it on to defend Stark Industries. He offered to return it to Stark, but Stark insisted that Rhodes take the responsibility. Several years later, Tony Stark died, and Rhodes was named CEO of Stark Enterprises. Stark Enterprises created the War Machine armor, and Rhodes briefly took the place of Iron Man. When he discovered Stark wasn't dead, he became furious and resigned, severing his friendship with Tony. The two would occasionally team up to battle the evil that was trying to take over, but the friendship of old was never the same again. First appearances as James Rhodes was Iron Man 118 in January of 1979. His first appearance as Iron Man was May 1983, and his first appearance as War Machine was Iron Man 284, September 1992. So his kit, all this comes from msf.gg because I did not add up all the tiers in game. I apologize. So his basic is attack primary target and adjacent targets for 140% damage. Apply offense down to primary target. Give me 1 second. I apologize here. I need to look something up real quick. Maybe if my browser would work. Because why would the browser work? Never mind. I was going to look up. I couldn't remember the name of the kits, and I wanted to kind of give the kit title. So, give me 1 second here.
Sure.
War Machine. All right. So the basic is called Railgun, and then so his special missile system, attack primary and adjacent targets 3 times for 90% piercing. If Iron Man is an ally, attack 1 additional time. His ultimate is called Cluster Bombs. That's a 6 energy, and I believe it starts at 4. His special was 4 energy, and it starts fully loaded. So his ultimate attacks all enemies for 340% damage. Damage is increased by 30% per hero ally. His passive, integrated targeting, he gains 10% damage. He gains 5% piercing. When an enemy drops below 50% health, they gain taunt. If Iron Man is an ally, he gains 30% crit damage. He gains death proof, and he gives death proof to Iron Man. And in the upcoming Alliance War, War Machine will gain an additional 10% damage. Hebrew, what do you think of his kit?
Amazing. Straight up amazing. I love this kit.
It really is. It's kind of crazy actually how good it is.
Yeah, I mean it's honestly it's not Nick Fury level broken or anything, but it's definitely overpowered. But it's not like breaking the game. You know what I mean? It's expected overpowered.
Yeah, considering how kind of exclusive he is to get, I would have been disappointed if it hadn't been. But there's some nuances to his kit that really stand out to me that we're gonna talk about. And I can't take credit for it. I was not the first person to come up with this idea. So, and I'll give credit to him when we start discussing it. But just to give everybody an idea, his base damage. Now, this again is all from MSF.gg. This is at 7 stars, no red stars. None of our numbers will ever include red stars, unless specifically asked for or required. But it's 7 stars, tier 12, level 70. His base damage is 8,031. What that means is that his basic, if it crits, is going to hit for around 20k.
Right.
His special, if it hits, is going to hit for around 8.4k. If it crits, it's going to hit for 13.5.
Right.
Okay. So, I mean, it's still nothing to really sneeze at because that is straight damage.
Yeah.
Which means that he's going to be doing 53k, almost 54k damage to everybody pre-crit. Or, I'm sorry.
Right.
With Iron Man as an ally, and he crits, he'll hit for 54k per person, basically bypassing their armor. His ultimate will hit for 33k, and it'll crit for around the same amount of 53k as the special. The difference being is that the ult is not oh wait, hold on.
Piercing.
The ult's not piercing. However, that's only with 2 heroes. If he's on a team of heroes, it's 30 per, right? So it's actually going to be 64k.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
If he's on a team of heroes, his ult will hit for 40k, and then it'll crit for 64k.
Right.
So does all that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
For sure.
All right.
No, he's very good. The way that they put him together, and I love how they pieced him with Iron Man. That was to be expected, but I think that they did a really good job with making their pairing meaningful and making them easy to both of them loan out into other teams, especially whenever you have, because it's kind of it's what I wanted or what we kind of saw with Daredevil and Punisher, but even better because we can also apply them to tech teams. We can apply them to hero teams. There's just more versatility in the pairing itself. So, yeah, I like what they did there, and I think that the synergy isn't broken, but it's impactful.
Yeah, absolutely. In my opinion, he may be one of the more versatile characters we've seen recently, and he works well with quite a few different teams. And this is where we're going to kind of get into our strategy / theory crafting with him. So one of the teams that obviously you can run him with is going to be your OG defenders. So Cap, Black Widow, Iron Man, War Machine, and Vision. I think that running those 5 together will be really good because he'll benefit from Vision's tech bonus. And then Cap can feed him energy. So that's always going to be good with that ult needing to kind of power up a couple of turns.
Right.
There's a great post on Reddit that goes in depth about running him with different tech teams. So, I mean, you could pretty much play him into any tech team, and he's gonna do really good. Now, a lot of people are gonna run him with the heroes, and I see why they would want to do that because of the damage numbers.
Nick Fury specifically.
But for the offense up.
No, for the summon.
Oh yeah,
for the offense up too, but
for the offense up and for the summons. Yes, yeah, running him with Nick Fury will be great because the question. So we'll have to see if that does work. I'm not sure.
Apparently, it was confirmed.
Okay, that's amazing, and that just makes him crazy. So you could put him on a shield team under Nick Fury and drop, say, medic. In fact, he may even take the place of Assault on that team.
I would probably, if I had my shield team, I would probably put Iron Man and Tekken and then drop, let's see, probably either Operative and Assault or Medic and Assault.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. I probably would not run him without Iron Man, but you don't have to have Iron Man for him to be good.
No, you don't. I mean, it'd be very good to and then just drop Assault and put him in and plug and play.
Yeah, even then, you don't have to run him with shield minions if you've got Fury. If you just use Fury for the summons.
Yeah, you can put him in with another hero team. It's just Nick Fury in particular with shield. Even if you are missing like someone like Assault or something,
yeah,
he'll still kill.
Oh yeah, yeah. He's the only hero that does summons, isn't he? Let's see, Kingpin, Yondu, Ultron. Who else summons?
Excuse me.
Anybody you can think of?
Sorry, say it one more time.
Who else summons?
Let's see. We got Yondu, Kingpin, Ultron, Fury. I think that's it.
Nobu. Thank you, Urbane. Right. Loki, but no heroes. They're Fury's like the only one. Everybody else is a villain. So now Mizio said that in chat mentioned that you don't want to lose crit from Assault. But I'm saying that's true. You don't need to run a full shield team or even a partial shield team. You just want Fury. You just want Fury with to be able to summon those minions. You don't need to. You don't really care about anything else. He's just there to feed extra damage for War Machine.
Yeah, I mean, but I suppose this is the beautiful thing about it is that he would honestly do still very well in a shield team. Like he would kick ass in a shield team.
Yep.
But yeah, you could take Nick Fury out and piece them together with another group of heroes with War Machine and Iron Man, or just War Machine and Nick Fury, or whoever. That's the beauty of it. We're seeing some of that versatility come back starting with him at least.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I really like that because you're right. All of these things are valid. That's the beauty of it. Yeah. There's no right answer here.
Yep. And let's see. Another team I had thought of was War Machine and Iron Man. All my teams kind of have those two together because I feel like they're very much like I hate to pull out a Galaxy of Heroes reference, but they're very much like Rey Jedi Training and BB-8. Like they're constant companions. So I feel like War Machine and Iron Man are constant companions almost any team. But let's see, War Machine, Iron Man, Spider-Man, Captain America, and Jessica Jones. And the reason for that is you get Spider-Man to do the defense down on people. You get Cap is going to feed energy to Avengers. So it's going to go to either Iron Man himself or War Machine. And JJ is going to feed energy. So, that's really going to help that engine keep running there. So I kind of like that team comp. The really surprising team comp, though, that may be kind of amazing, and I can't take credit for it. This was all from, and this is one of the few times I will name another content creator. This is all from Tony Bing. We were talking about this earlier. He said to run War Machine and Iron Man with Brotherhood. So you run like Magneto, Pyro, Sabretooth, War Machine, and Iron Man. And at first I was like, I don't think so. It's just, you're losing too much from that crit damage. But the more I thought about it, the more I realized the genius of that. And the fact that Mags is going to go first because you've got the 3 Brotherhood, which means he's going to pull everybody together. So War Machine's special is going to go off and hit everybody on the opposing team. And it's going to hit 4 times. And it's going to bypass all their armor. And it's going to hit for... what did I say the damage was again? Like 54k damage to everybody. That's nothing to sneeze at. That's basically his ult.
Yep.
So
that's assuming it crits, correct?
Yeah, that is assuming it crits, and that's why you've got Iron Man there to give you the
crit damage.
To increase the crit chance and the crit damage.
Does he increase the crit chance as well, or is it just the damage?
Iron Man, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but Iron Man by default increases
Does he?
crit chance. Hold on. I thought he did. I may be wrong on that. My browser's messed up, so let's go to another browser. Hold on. Iron Man.
I'm just going to the game.
Let's see, passive. So when maxed out, he applies 15% extra crit chance to tech allies, and then applies a 15% extra crit chance to all allies. So he's going to give War Machine plus 25% chance to crit. You want that.
Yeah.
you want that. You want that extra crit chance on him, and then War Machine. Let me look at his here. Yeah, so he gets the crit damage from having Iron Man around. So he's gonna one time every one chance out of 4 he's gonna crit. And so if you've got that, not the best odds, but they're good odds. In these types of games, those are good odds. So
plus the amount of times that he attacks, technically, I think does each attack have a chance of critting? Because I think it's technically separate attacks, right?
Yes, it's technically separate attacks. He doesn't drop one.
So
time.
your chance of critting at least once in that is higher,
right? Yeah. So that, and his ultimate does drop in power because it's only himself and Iron Man as hero allies, but his ult will still hit for around 53k damage as well when it crits.
Right.
It has a higher base damage because the bonus is at 340%, where there's no bonus for the special. But the crit damage winds up being around the same, and that's only because the special hits 4 times.
Right.
So basically what happens at this point is you've got the special and the ult doing this roughly the same amount of damage, and they're basically firing off back to back.
Yeah, exactly.
So it is definitely a very interesting team comp. All credit for that concept goes to Tony Bing. And then don't forget you've got all the other debuffs that the Brotherhood apply as well on top of that. So I think the only complaint I saw from somebody that I talked to about this was that Iron Man and War Machine are quote unquote slow because they're only at 100 speed. But when you're playing them on offense, because this team may have some defense viability, maybe. It'll at least maybe give people a little bit of pause, but Iron Man and War Machine together are both going to get death proof. So, you'd have to think that if the entire AI team would really kind of have to go before Iron Man.
Well, I mean, also he blinds. I mean, Magneto will blind.
And Magneto
also.
blinds as well. So yeah, see, I don't know the Brotherhood kit that well. So yeah, I mean, these guys are gonna hang around, and they're gonna do, and then Iron Man's gonna do his ult on top of that, and then you've got Pyro doing his. And you got Sabretooth. I mean, the amount of damage
or you could
output,
put in Jugs. I would potentially put in Jugs there for the taunt, like because right afterwards you'll guarantee that everyone else survives because it takes a while to get through Jugs.
That's fair. That's not a bad idea. Take Sabretooth out and put Jugs in there instead. Yeah, that's really good.
It depends on if you want to go. If you know it's going to be a little bit more of an elongated fight, like you know that these people have some defense up. Not like defense up, but these people have a good amount of defense or whatnot.
Right.
If you know they're going to survive for a couple of rounds, then yeah, bring Jugs. If you can eliminate these people, there's no tanks. Go ahead and take Sabretooth, bleed him out with Pyro and Sabretooth, knock him out.
Yeah, absolutely.
But all good combinations. Once again, this is the beautiful thing. Like, this is something that I've missed from this game for a very long time. So I'm glad to see it pushed back in. The one thing that we haven't really talked about, which is still important. Well, I suppose we did talk about it last week though, which was the 10% bonus. Now that you've had a chance to sit on it, how do you feel about that?
Meh.
That specific game bonus, the 10% damage.
Honestly, meh. I mean, so his damage is not the highest in the world as it is, right? His base damage is only 8k when he's fully maxed, which means you're going to get another 800 damage out of it. I don't think that's enough to get. I mean, it's enough to be nice, and to be kind of like, oh, that's a little bit of a thing that I don't see from him in Raid Blitz Arena. But I don't think it's going to be something that is gonna be OP in Alliance Wars.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be. It's competitive, but it isn't. How should I say? It's not as directly competitive as Arena. You know what I mean? Like where you're fighting one-on-one with this team. So I feel like it's not quite as bad. It's more of like a mass amount of people that you're trying to get through in the Alliance War mode. I mean, so I don't feel quite as bad about it, but I do think that once you start really stacking up and looking at his damage totals, 10% on top, a lot of those numbers does seem like oof. I mean, it's not going to be crazy, but it's just definitely going to make you think for a second, be like, oh god, like this does more damage than I thought it was going to do. So, but then again, it is kind of a cool thing, but then it's kind of bad because I don't want him. He's definitely not pigeonholed into that game mode now, so that's good. Obviously, he's good. He's viable in all the other game modes, which was something I was worried about. That they were just going to make him super powerful in Alliance Wars and then kind of meh everywhere else. But no, they did a good job with that. But yeah, I'm just worried that he's going to be a little too strong now in Alliance Wars, but we'll see how that pans out. It won't be anything too crazy, even if it is. So, are you okay with them doing more stuff like this in the future, though? Because that's what it really comes down to. This wasn't too bad with 10% extra damage, but are you concerned about Fox next specifically putting in and balancing for stuff like that in the future?
Oof. I mean,
because I personally don't trust them with it. Like it's going to open the doorway to more, game specific bonuses or most. Whenever it comes to balancing, they are terrible at it. So I'm personally worried for what this might mean.
I don't disagree with that assessment. It is something that obviously I share your concern. Yeah. I mean, as long as they're not going crazy, 75% bonus damage or bonus whatever. 10% here, 10% there. That's not horrible, I mean, do I want to go up against a rocket that does an extra 10% base damage? Not really, because he's got what, 10k base damage right now just for me.
Yeah.
So, that's now 11K. And then when you start doing multiplicative percentages on top of that, and no, thank you. No, 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 no.
Yeah, but it's just every single time we've seen them do this before. And I brought this up last week a little bit, so I'm not going to go like heavy-handed on it, but this is kind of their MO to create little gateways which aren't very impactful at the beginning to test the waters to see how we react, right? And usually we always react okay because people buy whatever it is that they're selling.
Right.
So this is going to work, and I think it's going to, open the door for more stuff like this to come. But if it was all 10% and stuff like that, not the worst thing in the world. But I have a feeling, so mark my words, that we're going to see some pretty crazy mode-specific bonuses come out in the future because to date, that's what they've done. They've taken something very impactful as the gateway, and then they've escalated it as time went on.
Yeah,
so.
That's the natural evolution of these games, though. You can call it power creep, you can call it evolution, you can call it whatever you want. But to keep people investing, the new thing has to entice you in some way. So, my problem is that they've dropped the hammer on so many things, rather than like gradual introductions. That it's. Yeah, I share your concerns. I do share your concerns.
Yeah, it's just basically it's an interesting thing that everyone should watch for to see what happens with it. Just be aware moving forward that what we see coming out of game specific bonuses, because I'm telling you it's going to happen. So, but anyways, I guess that probably does it for the theory crafting section, I'd imagine.
Yeah, unless there was something else that you wanted to add.
No, I think we hit every single combo ever.
We got there. Look, the guy's really versatile. He even I said, he even works in a predominantly villain team under the right circumstances. So,
that's basically Marvel at its finest right there, teaming up heroes with villains for weird occasions.
Right, and that's really kind of what this game's all about.
Yeah, stays true. I like it.
So, all right, now we are going to go into our grab bag, and we have quite a few. We got quite a few questions this week. So, hold on, guys. Oh, wow. It's not over yet. Just as an FYI, you can drop questions to us on our Discord. There is a grab bag channel. I have changed the permissions on that channel so that it is you cannot see message history. I did that for a couple of reasons. One is kind of a social experiment because I wanted to see if people would drop similar or the same questions. And then also it helps keeps the questions organized and keeps conversation out of there. So if you do come to our Discord and you type your message and you go back to look for it, it's gone. So you get one chance at it. I will see it. So let's see. We are currently at this question here. All right. So this question comes from Good Scrimshaw. Non-MSF, non-MCU related. We know we are getting TV shows that will be MCU canon on the Disney streaming service. It looks like Vision, Scarlet Witch is confirmed, as is a Loki series. What is your elevator pitch for an MCU canon TV show for absolutely any of the characters seen so far? I'll start off. Hawkeye, after Endgame. Family gone, he's a broken man, he cuts himself off from civilization, a cabin just outside a small town in Argentina. Kate Bishop, running from her rich family, came to the Argentinian village to help the locals. While there, she's kidnapped by the cartel. Hawkeye saves her, she's in awe of him. Insert development of reluctant surrogate father relationship here. Kate reignites Hawkeye's optimism and convinces him to train her and protect the small village from the cartel. Very small story, more character work, etc. Jeremy Renner can actually properly explore Hawkeye in this story. All right, Hebrew, your turn. That was all from Scrimshaw. That was not from me.
Right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and say... I'm going to say Sugar Bear from Deadpool. That one's kind of out of left field, but you know what? I think it would be hilarious to see a show. It would definitely be more on the comedy end of things, but and you know who I'm talking about with Sugar?
No powers. I know who Sugar
Dorian?
Bear is.
Okay, yeah. I think Sugar Bear would be a really interesting TV show to see like what his life is being occasionally brought into Deadpool's world and running missions as a normal person.
Right.
So I think that would be kind of, and then just average daily life whenever he gets home. I think that would be like a really cool kind of comedy superhero thing. So yeah, I would love to see that. But I guess like a more realistic one, I would really, really, really love to see Magneto's origin story like blown up. You know what I mean? Like I would love to see, and I guess you could tie in, so you know, like a prequel TV series of you know his life and how he grew up, and you know the concentration camps and everything. It would be more of a drama, and you know whenever he met Xavier and things like that. I think that'd be pretty cool. What about you?
So I think that I would really like to see the. I've talked about this guy before. He's one of my favorites. Deathlock. I'd love to see the Michael Collins Deathlock come to TV, where it's actually the brain of somebody put into a cyborg versus a man that just kind of has some cyborg parts.
Right.
That we saw in Shield. Not saying that Deathlock wasn't okay, but he wasn't the Deathlock I grew up with. So, you know, Michael Collins, you know, he's a pacifist software engineer who thinks he's working on prosthetic limbs to help disabled people walk again, only to find out that he's, you know, building a war machine or helping build a war machine. When he confronts the owner of the company about it, the owner or the president shoots him, and, you know, he wakes up, you know, basically destroying a village. And has to wrest control back from the computer that runs a cyborg, and you know he does some mental reprogramming and takes over, and then he's on a search to kind of find his body, but also discover humanity. Because you know here he is a pacifist in this ultimate killing machine, and so he has to make life and death choices while exploring the limits of his virtue and limits of the limits of how far would a man go.
Yeah.
If you
actually, I like that. I've never really seen anything him or her. It's a him, right?
It's a him. Yeah. Michael Collins.
Okay, yeah. Sorry, I missed that part. I remember there being someone that was like sounded like a guy, but it was actually a girl that you had mentioned once before. I don't remember who it was now. But yeah, I think that would actually be kind of cool. Like just from the story of what you told me, because I know nothing about this character, I would watch it.
Yeah, so. I'll give you a link to read all the comics. Sadly, there was only like 36 comics. It started out as a four series, like a mini graphic novel 4 series.
Yeah.
That you read first, and then you go into the comics, and they were amazing. And my wife for Christmas actually got me, I think I mentioned this, she got me a Deathlock the Demolisher compendium that contained like all the Deathlock the Demolisher stories, but that's not the Michael Collins, and I was not aware of this. And it goes all the way back into the 70s, and he's a Vietnam vet, and but it's not Michael Collins. It's really, really interesting. So
interesting.
Yeah, Deathlock's such a cool character. So
I can tell you're very passionate about it.
I am. So our next question comes from San Francisco. He says, this question is in honor of Resident Evil 2 coming out yesterday, the 24th. And whether or not we like to admit it, we've all thought about it. Imagine the zombie apocalypse starts right now as you're reading this question. What do you guys do? Where do you go first? Where do you plan on bunkering down? Who do you go get, etc.? Bonus question just for Hebrew. Oh wait, well, the bonus question comes after that one, so they're not related. Okay. So so what do you do? Where do you go first? Where do you plan on bunkering down? Who do you go get, etc.?
Well, first of all, just let me also mention super quick. for the last question. By the way, that Hawkeye one was very cool as well. I would love to watch that. That was very cool.
Yeah.
I forgot to mention that in my little shtick. But anyway, so for this, I have thought about this. I am a huge Walking Dead fan. I would definitely grab my dad, because he is a brilliant engineer that designs military equipment. So I would definitely take him, and I would go probably to if we can make it. It depends on how bad I suppose it is. Like if it's already full blown or if it's just starting. If it's just starting, I would say we're going to go to his work because that would probably be the safest place to go. If not, I would probably I'd probably bunker up in the house. So we have an attic and stuff, and we have some from whenever we used to go like hiking and stuff like that. We do have a lot of like survival kits and things like that. So
Nice.
I think we would be able to be okay. And I also do have 2 machetes because this is literally what we went through. I remember me and my buddy were walking through and we went through like the fishing department and there was a machete on sale for $3. And we were like, how can you not buy a machete for $3?
Yeah, you got to kind of buy that.
Yeah, we each bought a machete, and he was my roommate at the time. He forgot to take his, so now I have 2 machetes. So that's not terrible.
Bonus.
Yeah, exactly. So I'd hide out. I have we have a lot of actually survival gear. I think we'd actually do pretty good because we have all of the non-battery operated lights and everything. So we would do pretty well. Some water cleansers. So yeah.
Yeah, you got to have those
What about
water
you?
pills, man. I think the first thing I'm doing is I'm getting to my wife and kids.
Oh yeah.
And then I'm getting your dad, and I'm joining you because we're all going to work because I know where your dad works. We're all going to his work.
Yeah, safe spot.
Yep, that's gonna be perfect. That or barring that, I may try to make it to Colorado. Because
why Colorado?
NORAD, Cheyenne Mountain.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So
that's fair.
Yeah, that or I'm gonna.
It's too cold.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah, for me, it's not.
Well,
it'd be miserable.
But so think about it though. Zombies have no blood flow, right?
Yeah. Well, I'm not sure if they would. I mean, I don't think it would really affect them. I mean, if you have to suspend reality for this anyways.
Okay, yeah, we're
going to
suspend reality.
That zombies would work, but I mean, assuming that they work the way that we've seen in TV shows, I don't think the cold would really stop them at all.
I think it at least would slow them down.
They're already pretty decrepitly slow as it is for the most part. It seems.
Then apparently you need to watch World War Z. Those
buggers
are
those are some different ones. Yeah, I'm talking like Walking Dead ones. But yeah, I mean, if we're talking 28 Days Later or World War Z or something like that, yeah, those I almost cursed several times. But yeah, those people would be hard to outrun sometimes. So
I'm
yeah.
proud of you, man. I'm going to break you. I know I will. I'm going to get you to where you, even in daily conversation, you're going to stop doing it. It'll be awesome.
I can almost guarantee that won't happen because I played too many video games on the side. But I've gotten pretty good though at naturally censoring in here though, I'd say.
Yeah, you have, man. You do a great job. I know I appreciate it, and I know some of our listeners definitely appreciate it. So,
yeah, and others don't.
Others don't, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. Rather err on the side of caution. But anyway, bonus question for Hebrew from San Francisco. Would you rather main Meta Knight or level up Vision? You have to do one of the two.
I would definitely rather main Meta Knight. I mean, he's the bane of my existence, but not to the degree that Vision is. Vision is just such a punk guy that yeah. But Meta Knight is incredibly annoying, and I hate him. So yeah, I would pick Meta Knight still.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Vision on that one, but that's because I really don't have your disdain for either one, to be honest. Let's see. Razorok asked, "What do you think of including characters available in the stores to be Blitz characters?
Let's say that one more time for me.
What do you think of including characters available in the stores to be Blitz characters? For example, Ant-Man Blitz right now, but he's available in the Blitz store.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a fan of it because I think that they're more readily available, and I think there's other characters that need it more. So, like, give me a Black Widow Blitz or something, please. So yeah, I don't think it's. I would wish that they wouldn't do that.
I actually think it's great. Because one, it gives those of us that don't like blitzing a chance to just go, okay, whatever.
Oh, that's true.
It kind of take a break.
Gives us a break. Yeah.
And it gives newer players a chance to get these characters faster because they're not all bad, right? I mean, outside of Merc Lieutenant, we don't get any minions in a blitz. So I don't even know if you could call them. Who else do we get?
We've had Blade Master.
It's been a while, hasn't it? Have they
there's been
done
some
that
other
recently?
ones. I mean, Merc Lieutenant is a minion.
Well, I said outside of Merc Lieutenant.
Oh, sorry, I missed that. But yeah, we've had minions before.
Well, I think we had before, but I thought they stopped doing that, and we haven't had any other than Merc Lieutenant in a long time.
I mean, I can't recall at the top of my head.
Yeah, but, I can't either. But I mean, and even Merc Lieutenant, just because he's unnamed, I don't know. He leads them.
His kid's obviously very good. Yeah.
But I actually like the fact that it gives newer players an opportunity to do better and to get these characters.
Yeah.
So while for me, it's not, if I was a heavy duty blitzer and I relied on blitz to gain new characters or level up characters I didn't have, I would be upset. But I also want, new game players to have a chance as well.
I would say even still from that perspective, I would probably, this is subjective for sure, but I would probably still rather them do other characters and people that were in stores that way, because I know I can already get this person from the store eventually. Right. I'm not concerned about them. It's more if there's so many other characters that you've missed out on having ways to get, like, the character events for people
right.
that we have experienced. Like, they're not going to get those, at least from what we've seen so far. So, they've missed out on a lot of chances to get, at least some shards of characters that we haven't got. So I would probably say if I was one of them, I would also want characters that weren't in the stores to only be in Blitz.
I can see that. That's a valid argument. That is a very valid argument. I hate Blitz,
but
I appreciate being able to take it off.
That's true. That's something I didn't think of. So yeah, but if you are rushing something like Defenders and that Luke Cage one pops up, I can see you sprinting for that as a newer player as well. So
you should be.
It comes to what you want
because he's amazing. He's amazing. So. Let's see. Spiderpool asked, what's another game app on iOS you can recommend? I have a gift card burning a hole in my wallet and no clue what to use it on. I actually mentioned one during the intro. If you're okay with the JRPG drawing style and the clothing minimalism on female characters and the overabundance of physical features, then Langrisser is Langisser, Langisser, is a game that just released this week that I've been playing with Muggin actually, and it's been a lot of fun. So if that type of thing doesn't bother you, the story is fantastic. If you've ever played the old console versions, the mobile game actually lets you kind of relive those stories as well as telling a brand new story. So it's an amazing game. It's a very gacha, but the characters are relatively easy to get. I think I've done 50 summon pools in 3 days. Just because right now they're feeding you tickets for summon. So, I like that one. Hebrew, how about you?
So for me, I play a fair amount of games on the iOS. So one I would recommend, at least just to test out, because it's very, very similar to MSF, but a little different. And honestly, especially if you kind of like anime or kind of like the Japanese art style. On Myoji, ONMYOJI, very good, incredibly good graphics, a lot of fun to play. That might be something to invest in for a little bit. Hungry Dragons, also fun. Not too much to spend on there. It's mostly just for cosmetics. There's Fortnite. If you want, just the mobile.
Do you like that on mobile?
Fortnite?
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of Fortnite, period, but I've
Okay.
played it on both. And I still do occasionally play it.
Yeah, see, I've got an S9 Plus. And that's I'm not trying to humble brag. I'm just saying that I've got the big screen with a newer phone.
Right.
I just couldn't play it. It was just. Ugh.
It's definitely not ideal, but I don't think it's supposed to be. It'll never be ideal compared to, PC is the most ideal for any game, and then it's always console, and then it's
right.
phone. At least for shooters,
Yeah, I was just curious what your take on Fortnite Mobile was. So that I'm not knocking your choice. I was just curious because I had a different experience with it.
Another thing, and I've mentioned this one before, but if you want to have a lot of fun, and I think Dorian can agree with me on this one, a lot of fun and kill everyone in the world, Plague Inc.
Plague Inc.
It's honestly it's cool, it's interesting. You actually learn a decent bit too. But yeah, it's really fun. And you get hours and hours of enjoyment, and it has a couple of different, you can pay to unlock this type of virus or something like this. But there's, lots of the free mode itself. Give it a shot, try it out. A lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. I actually played that back on Windows Mobile, and I actually paid like $2 for it at the time.
Oh yeah,
it's a phenomenal game. I loved it.
Yeah, one of the few games that I still have in my phone after, I think like 3 years now. So, yeah, that right there is a testament to it.
All right. So, In a Big Country asks, would you accept a 100% increase in the probability of getting a 7 Red Star character if you also had to accept a consummate percentage increase in the odds of being highly embarrassed in public? Highly embarrassed in public.
Highly embarrassed in public. So
yeah, I won't read the word he was used.
Okay. So basically, you have to value what you get in the game more than your pride, I suppose.
Yes.
I don't have a problem being embarrassed in public, I think, but highly embarrassed, I suppose, I would assume that means that even to my standards, I would be highly embarrassed. So
I will tell you yes. For his specific answer.
Right. So does it say if I'm guaranteed a 7-star forever from now on, or just once?
It says
the probability. The probability of a 7-star is increased to 100%, right?
Yes. And it's just a 7 Red Star.
Yeah, if it's just a 7 Red Star, like 1 7 Red Star, then no. But if it's from now on, still probably no, I guess. Because it would have to be really bad, especially since I don't get embarrassed easily. It'd have to be probably really bad. So I don't want to know what it would be.
So here, I'll look at Discord.
What's that?
And private chat.
Okay.
And I will tell you what the embarrassment was.
Oh, okay. I didn't. All right. Well, that adds a different context to it. Yeah. Okay. I would do that. Whatever. I'll do that.
All right.
I thought it was like unique to me. Like,
oh no.
Being highly embarrassed. So yeah, I mean it's never happened to me before, but I mean people have gotten super drunk and done that. So
or gotten super sick and done that.
Yeah, it's super sick and done that. By the way, people, you're pooping in your pants. Okay, that's what it was.
Yeah. Okay. Do you think it's? I mean, I don't. You know how I try to be.
I don't think it's that bad.
Okay, so sharding.
Yes, sharding.
Okay.
That's basically like for anyone that wants.
Go to Urban Dictionary, but not from a work machine.
Yeah, just go to Urban Dictionary. I don't want to be too graphic and offend anyone, but it's not too bad. But anyways, yeah. So I would do that for a 7-star for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe.
My standards are, I guess, are too low for regular life. Yeah, whatever. I'll ruin my life for this game. I don't care.
Oh, that's awesome. Let's see. Pope Jesus Christ asks, if you couldn't do a gaming podcast or one about a specific IP, what else would you choose to podcast about? So, Heber, you've actually decided and started to.
Yeah, I'm going to be messing around on Anthem, so that's going to be a game that I'm going to be doing. If I could pick one game that I know, which I plan on doing eventually, anyways, but it's just like I'm going to be one drop in a sea, basically, is League of Legends, because League of Legends has been a game I've been playing for like 9 years or so.
Yeah.
And yearly, so I would be doing that, but it's just there's no point realistically, because it does, despite what some of you might think, it actually does spend or cost a decent amount of time to have to do all of this stuff for content creation. So I never used to think that it was as bad as what it is, but
yeah, it's a lot. It really is.
It's more than what you'd think. Yeah, and really just planning around it has a lot to do with it as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think if I could do it for anything and be successful at it, then yeah, it would be League of Legends. But Anthem is one that I'm going to be going into, and I did have a lot of fun with it because I just wanted to make sure with the demo that it was going to be as cool as it seemed, and it is. So, what about you?
I would probably, well, okay, so I couldn't do gaming or a specific IP. Yeah, there's a couple of different topics I could probably get into. Actually, it's funny. I was talking to my chiropractor this evening, about this podcast and what I do, and he's like, "Yeah, I've always thought about doing something like that for chiropractic," and I'm like, "Well, that's definitely doable."
Yeah.
So maybe exploring other avenues, because I do work in the healthcare industry. Maybe doing one on programming as well. And just talking about some of the latest things to happen, newest things to hit and stuff with programming. So yeah.
Oh.
Probably there are two others I would, but I'm not going to go into those debates tonight. So
sorry, I don't want to interrupt you. Are you finished?
Yeah, I'm good.
I didn't realize that. Why didn't you stop me? I thought you said if you could do.
Yeah, no, because I reread it before I answered.
Okay. I was like, why didn't you stop me? This is not what.
Because I wanted you to embarrass yourself. Because I wanted to come across as the good podcaster tonight, the one who listens. That is not true, by the way. I'm not the good podcaster.
Well, yeah, you're right. By the way, I think, like, just as you were saying, like, a podcast for anything can work, especially with podcasts getting more and more popular. So, like, even something like chiropractic, like, it would also work.
Yeah.
But yeah, for me, like, I couldn't do it about gaming, but I think just a general kind of talk show, like talking about, things in society, or, things are coming up, just in more of a pop culture kind of aspect. Like, I would love to do something like that, which is something that I was doing before in one podcast, but now it's kind of altered into a different podcast. So there'll be more on that later on. But yeah, I mean, as it stands, I would like to do something like that for sure. Like a Joe Rogan kind of thing would be cool.
Yeah, that actually, I was thinking about that. That would be kind of cool. And I'm sorry, are you done?
Oh, I'm done. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I want to make sure. But part of the reason why I was late was I was talking with my wife, and she was watching the Ted Bundy thing on Netflix.
I saw that yesterday. Yeah,
she was she actually went to college to be a psychologist, and that's what she started to do. Psychiatrist, psychologist, what did it do? And so she's always been fascinated by Bundy, Dahmer, Zodiac, Son of Sam, Gacy. I think something that would be really, really cool is I would actually like to interview and get into I think some more journalism, and like interview and talk to like a convicted killer here in my state, and get their story, and maybe do a podcast and a book or whatever about their story.
That'd be kind of cool. I mean, like, you could go to like jails and probably do that. You'd have to have some balls, but yeah, you could do it.
Yeah, I mean, it's something that's kind of floated in and out of my mind. And then the other thing is children's books. I actually had an idea 10 years ago for a children's book series called The Pirates, where they were they were pirate rats made out of wedges of pie.
Right.
So it works on 3 different levels. But just a children's series of pirate adventures.
Right. Well, you got to have like some kind of like weird kooky shtick.
Yep.
Like that probably make it in the kids book industry. So, but yeah, very cool. I thought an adult themed kids book would be actually hilarious. Like, where if you really wrote it correctly, there was like a dual meaning to everything. Does that make sense?
I was going to say you could also find LeVar Burton's Go the F to Sleep.
Is that one? I'm not surprised, actually. Yeah, this is something that probably tons of people are like it'd be really funny to make an adult themed kid book.
I mean, it's not. Funny. I mean, it's cussing, but it's Go the F to Sleep being read by LeVar Burton. It's fantastic. Okay. You can find it on YouTube.
Well, yeah. Okay, yeah, I will probably do that. But yeah, that's the thing. Like, basically, like taking books like Goodnight Moon and stuff like that, which sounds like this is exactly what it is, and make it like more like get the heck to sleep and things like that. Yeah. All right, continue.
Let's see. Mike C215 asks, if you had to choose to strictly play villains or heroes only, which side would you pick and why? Disregarding the OP Fury and Defenders of every team, if every team was equal strength. So, would you be a villain or a hero?
Basically, yeah. Would I be a villain or a hero? Man, it's tough. I think I would inherently, since it's a game, I'd probably want to play villains. If it was ever real life, honestly, like my moral sensibility is too high to ever be anything but good.
Right.
Like if I ever had that choice in reality to be a hero or a villain, like I definitely just couldn't be a villain.
You're a good man. You're a very, very good man.
What is that from?
I don't know.
It sounds like it's from something.
It probably is. I've seen so much.
Oh, no, never mind. I'm thinking of from New Girl. There's a quote where Schmidt says that about himself, where he's trying to convince himself that he's a good man, and he keeps saying that over and over again. Okay. Sorry.
I think my wife watched New Girl. That's one with Zooey Deschanel, right? Zoe.
Wow.
Zooey
Deschanel. I've never heard anyone butcher that name so badly. Zooey Deschanel. Like
no.
What did you say?
Zoe
Zooey. It was
Zoe Deschanel. Man, I don't know. I know she's got
it's Zoe Deschanel.
Deschanel, okay. She's got a sister.
Deschanel.
I don't know, man. Look.
That's great. But yeah, her sister's on Bones. That's what you're thinking of.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that one too.
Also, the guy who voiced the older Spider-Man in the new Spider-Man movie from what was it called? Multiverse. Spider-Man Multiverse, right?
Yeah. He was from that, right?
That's Nick. That's the guy who plays Nick. He did such a good job in that movie.
Nice.
But yeah, go ahead.
So I think for me, I don't know. I kind of like the villain, but I like the anti-hero, right? So think
that's a good point.
Have you seen the Venom movie?
Yeah.
Right. So Venom in the new Venom movie was that anti-hero. Right. Yondu in Guardians of the Galaxies is kind of that anti-hero.
Right.
So I always like the anti-hero. Plus, I think that the villains just have more. I really kind of think the villains have more interesting kits right now. I think they could do some more interesting things. So
I could kind of see that. I kind of get behind that.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to also choose villain, for reasons.
Yeah.
So,
next one, I think this one's for you.
This next one is for me. So, Pope Jesus Christ said, "Can Dorian explain what a datamine is and how it works?" So, a datamine is basically when what happens is mobile games get go out and they kind of query servers to get information. And then this information is stored, in like config files, XML files, text files. It may actually be encoded into the game itself. That these guys go and they kind of break into or break through the folder structure, the files and everything to kind of read what's coming up. It is a it's one of those things that game companies know people do. So sometimes they'll throw things in there. Like I've seen data mines from MSF specifically, where you'll see like the same text 3 or 4 different times, but with different values. So they'll throw kind of, which one is it going to be, or they'll throw things out there and then just never do it. But that's really kind of what a data mine is, because all the code to run the game isn't always in the client itself. The client knows how to interpret these files, and so what these guys are getting are a lot of things around the email communications that we're going to wind up getting about upcoming events. That's what it looks like to me. So I've never broken into the APK file or anything for this game. I've done it for other games. Galaxy of Heroes, I did, trying to reverse engineer the API for a website I was building for territory battles back in the day, last year. But yeah, that's kind of what data mines are. It's just kind of finding the config information that the game is getting from the server and parsing that data out. So Dark Andrew has our last question of the night. He goes, "What are some more characters who might come to the game with the military trait other than War Machine?" Hebrew, you got any thoughts?
I don't think I know the universe well enough in order to say. The only other one that I know that's been in the military is she's not really like a superhero, but he could be like a villain, I suppose, in the same way that like kind of Nick Fury is what is it? The guy that's always after General whatever, the guy that's always after Hulk?
Ross.
General Raw.
General Ross. Betty Ross's dad.
That's right, Ross. That's right. So yeah, I think he's the only one I could think of. What about you?
So I can see Captain Marvel having it, because she was an Air Force pilot.
Oh shit, that's right.
I can see. I'd like to see Deathlock. Because he's a war machine. I kind of like to see him with that. He wasn't in the military, but designed for. Although the original Deathlock was a military man. So anyway, I bought a Deathlock kit today. Let's see. Abomination. If they brought him in to counter Hulk, he was in the military.
I thought he was a scientist. Was he not a scientist?
No, Abomination was a Russian military officer.
Oh, okay.
Alex. Now you're gonna make me look it up. Alexander something.
There's also that one guy, Flash or something like that. From remember, he was in the Jessica Jones series. He was dating that one chick.
I'm not sure who that is.
I remember I looked him up at some point. He was kind of like a lower end villain, but he was a villain.
Let's see. hold on. Abomination. Emil. I'm sorry, not Alexander. Emil Blonsky. Emil Blonsky.
Okay.
Yeah. Who else would be good with a military trait? Falcon. Falcon was in the military.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he was a military man.
Let's see. Those are the only ones that really kind of well, if they ever decide to go I guess like far edge, the Russian super soldiers, the red heroes, they were kind of the Russian version of the Avengers.
Okay.
I don't know who else. Yeah,
that's probably good enough.
But yeah, so yeah, that's about what my brain can come up with this late at night. So
works for me.
Yep. Well, and if you guys do have questions, I know I've given it out a couple times, but you can always come to our Discord at discord.me/Ravager Report and jump into our grab bag section and leave us some questions, and we will answer them on the show. And they don't have to be MSF related. We'll probably answer nearly anything. So, Heber, I think we're getting ready to kind of wrap it up for the night. I think you might be appreciative of that. But before we go, why don't you let our listening audience know, and those that are, not unfortunately here right now, who are you going to be farming, man?
Let's see, probably I'm going to be farming probably Rocket Raccoon as much as I can for sure. And yeah, probably Rocket Raccoon, and then continuing my farm on the Kree. That's probably about it, because I really want to get Nick Fury up to 6 stars. So I need to get those Kree up, and I'm trying to prep for excuse me, trying to prep for a Guardians team to make their way into my stash eventually. So yeah, what about you?
I'm still on that long Iron Fist and Punisher farm. So truth be told, I'm not refreshing that node every day. I'm just doing the one energy burn through it, because the team's really good kind of where they are now. But Iron Fist, Punisher, Miss Marvel, Groot is back on my daily farm. I finally got all the Krees to 5-star minimum, and I'm looking at them and I'm seeing like 0, 2, or 3 of 200. And I'm just like, I just don't know if I want to do it. I don't want to. Especially if they're shuffling them around now. I'm like, ugh. So they're kind of off and on if I really feel like it. Obviously, my aim are getting my daily farm. I'm not buying them directly out of the stores yet, like Monstrosity out of Blitz. I may wind up having to do that, though, to get him to 7-star. And then I think it's Infector that's in not the arena, but the raid. That he just has kind of gotten to 6-star just by naturally pulling raid orbs. So I mean, just continue doing that. So, but then Scientist Supreme is a dedicated farm every day. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah, makes sense.
I just love talking about the aim, man, because I know when I do it, people just go, ugh.
That's true.
Love it. All right. Well, we want to thank you for listening to the Ravager Report. If you'd like to become a part of our active and interactive community, you can do so at our Discord channel at discord.me/Ravager Report. Please remember that is a URL, not a Discord invite. Also, if you'd like to send us an email, you can email us at theravagerreport@gmail.com or find us on Twitter at RavagerRepo. If you like what you hear and would like to help support our show, you can join our patrons at patreon.com/RavagerReport, where we have subscription levels ranging from $2 to $20. And at the $5 level, you will start getting the show early access, at least a day or two early. And it will be the uncut, unedited version. So you get to hear basically as if you were in the studio audience. We do want to send a great big thank you to all of our current patrons. Without you guys, we wouldn't be able to do this. We love you guys, and thank you for everything that you do and all the support that you show for us. Until next week, keep fighting, true believers.